I'm really tired, and it just felt very draining, and it just felt like everything I was putting out there just wasn't, I wasn't into it 100%.
Hello there.
It's your old pal Dish, and today you're gonna slap that fucking like button and subscribe immediately! For today's video, I interviewed Wynslow for my podcast called The Secret Formula. Wynslow is a film director, a special effects artist, and an actress.
The cold doesn't bother me anymore. Nothing does.
But I heard you crying. Are you hurt?
Nothing can hurt me anymore.
Oh, it's you. What do you want? I told you, it's over. You need to move on.
For today's podcast, we will be going into topics such as what Wynslow has learned over the years as a filmmaker, and we're definitely going to talk about Star Wars. I just straight nerded out on this one. You are required to click all the links down below to support Wynslow.
I have spoken.
Welcome to the podcast, Wynslow Mayer.
Hi.
I really appreciate you being a guest this time around.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here. It's a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, thank you. So the first question I have is more of just kind of a thing to elaborate on. So I was there for your first shoot, one of your films, Lucifugal. Am I saying it right? What Lingers in the Dark?
Yeah, Lucifugal. You're close enough.
Okay. So I felt like I was like too shy to make a cameo, but it was really inspiring to see someone look so prepared to film. And your most recent film, The Cove, turned out amazing. As a film director who legitimately went to school to study film, what do you feel you learned along the way from the timeline from Lucifugal to The Cove?
I definitely learned that filming on the beach is not ideal. Don't do it. It's very hard to do.
What makes you say that?
Audio is so hard to just master, just because you have so many conflicting elements. You got wind, you got ocean life. It just clashing together, and it's so hard to control. But that was just one thing. But overall, I just learned how to be more prepared, because seeing me thinking that I was prepared, I was not at all.
No?
No,
Huh.
I was scrambling. I was trying to act like I was prepared. I really tried. But I definitely know what everything does, like what jobs are supposed to be there and how to do them correctly, because last time, way back, a few years ago when I was doing that,
Yeah.
I had no idea. We were using flashlights for lighting.
I saw that. I
It
remember
definitely
watching that.
shows.
Yeah. No, it's great though. Like honestly, like as long as you just do it, there's no try, just do. Like it's
Exactly.
it's real though. Yeah, I felt that way so we worked on that little it was supposed to be a short film, but like it just didn't work out. I felt like the way you felt in Lucifugal. Like I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Super new to it. Like the last time I made like a sort of a student film was probably back in like, I don't even know, dude. It was like years ago, because I went to this Connections Academy. It was at my high school, and it was like all this, like you learn about film and such. You'd make your own, like I made a claymation for that and storyboarded, all that. But like, I feel like I needed to just kind of test some things out before I went full-fledged,
Yeah.
But I appreciate your time on that. I feel bad. That's why I want to have you on the podcast, because I'm like, all right, like here's another outlet,
Yeah. You definitely learn along the way. I mean, honestly, you just have to start making things and figure it out. My teachers tell me that. It's like the best advice they give me. They're like, you just have to fail a lot, and then you'll figure it out eventually. Figure out what works and what doesn't.
Oh no, totally. Yeah, I've had that. I've definitely had that throughout this whole year. That's the whole point of this YouTube channel, was to put other people on the map, and also just I wanted to just do something. Like I always talked about stuff, but I never really did it. That was like my big thing, you know. It took a while. Like I don't know how you feel about like being on camera, but for me, like this is fine. But when I'm trying to film a video or like react to something, like I kind of go blank most of the time. It's easier with a conversation, but with just the camera, it's like it's something I'm trying to learn, you know.
Yeah. Like, are you referencing like acting in front of a camera, like coming up with things to say?
Dude, literally all of it.
Yeah, it just takes practice, and I mean, I'm used to it now. I used to be in the same boat. Like, I'd sit in front of the camera, like, I don't know what to say. Ramble. Does this work? And yeah, it just takes practice and confidence in what you're gonna say, and kind of pre-planning in your head a little bit.
Taking some notes and such. Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm also curious. You do a lot of those TikToks. Now, just I can relate to you because I know there had to be at least a point where you've experienced just a little bit of burnout. Because, dude, your hustle is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah?
For sure, I felt burnout, like, during the summer. Because I started, like, pretty much, like, maybe a month after the pandemic happened. So, like, April, I think.
Oh, okay.
And it was just like, I was making videos like every single day, and then I came to Oregon and I was doing the same thing, and then I was taking classes at the same time, and I'm just like, oh God, I'm really tired, and it just felt very draining, and it just felt like everything I was putting out there just I wasn't into it 100%.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, and I just got done kind of taking another break just because school again.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, it definitely can burn you out really easily. I experience it a lot.
Yeah, no, I can relate to that. Like the burnout is real. Like you said with like the content that I've been putting out, like I don't necessarily always feel like 100% about it, you know? It's like you win sometimes, you lose sometimes. Like sometimes, like I'm kind of an egomaniac about it, and like I rewatch my videos over and over again. But mostly, it's just to look like, you know, my lighting. Like my lighting is shit. Like it's something I really want to work on. You know, talking to the camera, my editing. It's always something. You're always trying to like one up yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, also, like since you're like a director and an actor or actress, my bad. Which do you prefer over the other? Like, or is it just a mix?
I think it's kind of a mix right now. I mean, I definitely favor acting above directing, mainly because I'm new to the whole directing side of things. I'm only just started learning how to do it on like kind of semi-professional projects, and I'm trying to like do it right. And before it was just like, just go and do it. I'm gonna film you, and that's good. But acting, I just feel that it gives me more, I don't know, a little bit more creative freedom than directing can sometimes. Because directing definitely is a hard job that I've discovered.
Yeah,
because working with actors is great and all, but sometimes it doesn't go as well as you had thought in your head.
Yeah, no, I can totally relate to that for sure. I've been doing this like Vader flick for a while. It's like this music video. I think I told you about it. I was like, maybe you can make a cameo, but we'll see. It's taking a while. Gosh, dude, like just learning how to storyboard again, and like being in charge is really just like the main thing. Like you really have to assert yourself as like, all right, like I'm the leader here as the director, and I have to make sure everything I'm doing is like enough context for people, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
A
lot of responsibility.
I know that you did this, it was this one film, what was it called? Short Term, and you worked as a first and second assistant. What was that job like? Like what is a first and second director assistant?
Assistant director.
Assistant director, yeah. So what does that entail? Like what's it like for you on set?
That set was so much fun to work on. The first day I was a second AD, assistant director.
Right.
And they're mainly in charge of like making sure that the actors are where they need to be on time, like for their cues and everything, or that they need to go and get makeup done. You're just pretty much making sure that everything with the actors is being handled in a timely fashion. And then with the first assistant director, that one's the big job. That's probably, like, if you think about it, there's director, producer, and then like the first assistant director works like right with them, and you're in charge of making sure the shooting schedule is on time. You're making sure that the shots aren't running over, and if they are, you have to time manage how much time it will take to break down a set, build a set,
Wow.
them doing their blocking for the whole scene, and them actually filming the scene, making sure that they aren't doing too many takes. It's a lot, but it's so much fun.
That sounds like just crazy, dude. Oh gosh.
It
I didn't even think about that. Like you're filming a scene for too long, you have to break it down, break down the set, restart. Gosh.
Yeah.
But you got
Yes.
your foot in the door, you know?
Yeah, they're all, like, honestly, the director, the actors, everybody I worked with, they're all such great people, and the project itself is going to be done pretty soon, I think. I'm really excited to see how it turned out. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be great.
Yeah, no, for sure. Gosh. I was also trying to think, so did that job like provide any more opportunities afterwards? Like, did you get in touch with like other people within the film industry? Like,
Yeah, I did. The people that hired me, like I got into that job through a cinematography class
oh,
because one of my friends, she got asked to be a gaffer for it, and she was just telling me their first assistant and second assistant director wasn't available, and they're like, "Can you do it?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And through that, I met a few other people. I met the director. The director's great. Hopefully, I'll get to work with him again in the future.
yeah, totally.
But I invited my other friend, Donovan, who ended up doing my sound for The Cove.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's really great, and he's telling me he can probably help me figure my life out once I go back to California, working on sets and such like that. But just all the people, they're kind of just, "Hey, we have this job. Do you want to work on it?" And then you're like, "Yeah, sure." So yeah, to answer your question, yes, I made connections through that set, and when I go back to California, I'll be working hopefully pretty quickly.
Where were you at in California? And were you still taking classes down there as well?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah. I live in Laguna Niguel. It's about
okay,
an
that's Orange
hour-ish
County.
south of LA.
Yeah, that's where my my dad's ex-fiance is from. But
Oh, okay.
well, I say that because we're still pretty close. But
Okay.
yeah, Laguna Niguel is it's like a beach town, you know. Lots of Aeropostale
Kind of,
shirts going
yeah.
down. Yeah.
It's like Dana Point. Dana Point's like right by the ocean. Laguna Niguel is like kind of close, and then Mission Viejo is where I go to school. If you know where that is.
I'm not familiar with that place as much.
Yeah, that's where Saddleback is. That's the school I go to.
Oh, okay. Huh. Gosh, I need to take some classes. You know, personally, like that's kind of like how I'm feeling. Like at least like a skill share or something. Because, fuck, I have dropped out of college like 4 times.
Hey, that's
Like-
perfectly fine. Sometimes college isn't for people.
Well-
And that's like perfectly fine. People figure it out and they don't even need the education. But I definitely think that taking film courses or any kind of, artistic courses you're interested in
Yeah.
at, community college is worthwhile.
Yeah,
Like
I
you'll
think-
learn something for sure.
No, I definitely think so. It's just like, growing up, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, like, and I just kind of found out over time, like, well, what did I do? What did I do as a kid? I made these goofy like YouTube videos all the time. So I was like,
Yeah.
all right, I guess I'll make that. And the quality has surprisingly gone down on my part, but Over the years, I get worse.
It'll go back up. You just need practice.
I'm just joking. It's a walk for sure. So I wanted to talk Star Wars a little bit. It's a little off topic, but I guess it is film related. So The Acolyte was one that I was kind of like, all right, like this one's a little bit of an underrated announcement. I feel like The Acolyte could possibly be Asajj Ventress, just considering the timeline. Possibly, because it's about like a Sith Lord, and it said it was like female centric. I also didn't know that like Asajj Ventress in the Clone Wars, so she was 32 and Dooku was 83 years old when they got married.
Age gap.
Yeah, it's an insane age gap. But yeah, do you feel like that's like a really underrated announcement by Disney Plus? There's a lot to like unpack there,
I don't know. I don't know too much about it personally. I only just started watching the Clone Wars like a few months ago.
Oh, so. Same. No, I'm in the same boat.
Hey!
Yeah,
so
it's awesome.
I'm like only been introduced to Asajj Ventress like a little bit.
You're right.
But
right.
I'm interested in, everything that Disney has just dropped. I'm like, oh, okay, this might be good or it might be bad, but we'll figure. I'm sure it will be interesting at least.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, because I think it takes place, so it's like before like the High Republic or something, like right after, some timing like that. So that's when Palpatine's like, and he's just kind of plotting towards his big empire idea, and Dooku's his apprentice, and then Darth Maul is like, basically his son in a sense, which is kind of weird. Did you know that?
I think I heard something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like basically like taken off his planet from, I think it was Dathomir or something.
Yeah, Dathomir.
And basically Palpatine like raised him to be like a Sith Lord assassin. And yeah, I think they're gonna go into that maybe a little bit, but I could just be over speculating. I could be totally wrong.
I mean, it's good to have theories though.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty out there that are way out there.
Yeah, well, I follow that Star Wars theory guy. Like, he's like my number one, because like for a while, like I was kind of following these like other YouTube channels that are like based around Star Wars, and like it was just super negative bullshit. It was just like they like put politics into it. I'm like, dude, like it's about like the movies and the TV shows, and like just hating on actresses and actors for no reason, and I don't know. I just think it's fucked up. Like there is a lot of like toxicity within like the Star Wars community. Like
yeah, for sure there is, 100%.
The actor from Phantom Menace, Jar Jar Binks guy. I can't recall his name off the top of my head, but dude, he had some like gnarly struggles. I don't know if you've seen that before that.
I have. It's really sad to know that people were just so cruel. I'm like, he's a character. You don't need to be so mean to a person who played a character.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to me.
No, it's stupid. I mean, some people were saying like George Lucas basically got like bullied out of making new movies just because the fan base, and like I don't really believe that personally. Like I just assume he's probably just burnt out, dude.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I think only recently he's kind of been interested in it again, at least. Just hearing that he was there for one of the episodes of Mandalorian, which made me happy because I'm like, oh, he's interested in everything that's going on. So maybe that gives us hope. I don't know.
No, there's a lot of hope for sure. Like that's the thing. Like people might take away from my Star Wars videos, which I'm not super. I'm not good at like reacting to things as much as I think I could be, because I just need to kind of write notes more. But what I was trying to get at is the fact that like the sequel trilogy, like I don't hate it. It's just it was underwhelming in certain aspects of it. Like there just could have been more to it. I don't hate Rose Tico. I don't hate the actress.
No.
I think this the whole idea is stupid.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
There's just like wasted potential. I feel like they could have done a lot more, but that's just not how it ended up happening.
No, definitely not. And like the ideas that George had for the sequel trilogy would have been so fucking cool. Like,
right? Yes.
Did you see those leaks?
Yeah.
Yeah? Mm-hmm. It's Darth Maul, and I can't think of the apprentice. but she looks kind of similar to that. What's her name? Zion or something from Mandalorian. The girl with like the tentacles. It's kind of like that species.
Twi'lek.
Twi'lek, probably.
I can't remember. But yeah, I know what I know who you're talking about.
So,
I just can't remember her name.
But dude, it would have been so sick, man. Like, there's just so much wasted potential in it just being a blockbuster. But I don't know. It's hit and miss. And also, like, that recent episode, I like literally cried during the last episode of Mando season 2, dude.
Same.
Oh my god.
Oh, crushed me.
And you know what I thought was going to happen is I thought it was going to be like a Rebels character who was the Jedi, because there was a lot of Clone Wars.
That's what I thought too.
Because Ezra's cat. Like, I don't know if you do you follow Rebels? Have you seen it?
No, but I know about it.
Okay.
Like,
there's a lot of
I
filler.
know what you're talking about.
There's a lot of filler, so you're not missing much. But there's some good stuff. And his little pet shows up in the Ahsoka Tano episode, and so that's why I thought, oh, and Ezra's a Jedi. I was like, maybe that's who it is. And it's like, holy shit, it's Mark Hamill. De-aged, like, goddamn. It couldn't have been any better.
The CGI.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of threw me off for a second. I was like, is that really him? I was like, oh yeah, I guess it is. But yeah, I'm stoked. And I'm beyond stoked for the Kenobi series too, which is just going to be like, delving even more into Anakin as Darth Vader this time around.
I'm looking forward to that one. I can't wait to see that. There's just so much. I mean, I was talking to my brother about it last night. I was just telling him, you know, between A New Hope and Revenge of the Sith, there's a time gap where they probably ended up meeting multiple times, or at least having some kind of encounter.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that this Kenobi series is going to fill that time space between those two installations, between the prequels and the original trilogy. I'm just really excited to see both of them again. It'll be great.
See some high ground again? Yeah. No, definitely.
It's so Anakin.
I have the high ground. Yeah, like, I think the prequels, like, I don't hate those either, but like they're super memeable, you know, like.
Oh yeah.
Revenge of the Sith as a whole is just like, even the scene where is it, like Yoda like pushes over Palpatine, he flies back in the chair, and just
yeah.
There's just like there's a lot of unintentional comedy. I think I don't think George Lucas meant to do that. But yeah, I'm beyond stoked, dude. I don't know. It's a good year to be a fan, for sure.
Oh yeah, Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni saved 2020.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Dave Filoni, dude. He's the man.
Real.
Gosh, I mean, like, you must spend like a lot of money on your all your props and such. Because I just recently started getting some. Like, I had to get a Vader costume, a Stormtrooper helmet, and like I looked up. Because I saw, like, the sabers you were using, and it was, like, they're more like the movie ones. Like, it's the same thing, right? Like, it's literally the ones they use on set for, like, the sequels and such.
Not the ones I have.
Okay.
But they're like, they look similar to them. I know, like, Disneyland or the Disney store, they have, you know, the actual replica sabers. But those are just so much money.
I know.
They're not dual, like, you can't combat with them, which
lame.
is kind of the whole point why I get them in the first place. So, I mean, one day I'll probably just get the hilts and maybe the blade and, like, mount them. But for now, I'm going to stick with, like, just these cheapy, like, aluminum metal ones.
Dude, mine are even more cheap, so don't worry about it. Like, I literally got, like, the toy versions of everything, so.
Yeah, but these are great. I mean, I'm actually getting one, should be here before Christmas, and I'm, like, super stoked to get it. It's, I don't know if you've seen any NeoPixel blades, but they have, like, a smooth swing. It's, if you look it up, they're not, like, the RGB, like, light up sabers. It just has a very cool color, and how it turns on, it just turns on all at once.
Right.
And the sound fonts, there's just a lot of cool things about it. It has character sound fonts, so it has Luke's, Obi-Wan's, Darth Vader's, Kylo Ren, pretty much all of the people you can think of, main characters. But I'm really excited.
Yeah, I'd be stoked too. Yeah, definitely.
That one definitely costs a lot, though.
No, I mean, you're investing back into yourself. You have to realize that too. Like, I always got, like, shit for, like, trying to, like, you know, invest in better equipment and stuff. My dad's like, oh, like, why don't you just, like, put all that effort towards college and, like, put it towards being a dental hygienist or something. I'm like, dude, like, fuck, man. I sometimes I forget if I left the stove on when I leave the house, you know? Like, my memory,
Yeah,
dude, my
I
memory
agree.
is shit. It's fucking shit. And,
Yeah.
like... You want me working on people's teeth, bro? Like, that's a nightmare waiting to happen. And then my dad's ex-wife, fiance again, she was saying, like, gosh, like, why don't you just become like an airline pilot? I was like, an airline pilot? Are you fucking shitting me, dude? Like, I'm terrified of heights, and like, let alone like just, you know, manning a fucking airplane. Like,
Being responsible for people's lives.
yeah, literally, dude. It's always something. I also wanted to ask you about this. So your twin brother is also like an incredibly talented creative. He's done like tons of heavily detailed pieces of artwork.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious as to where does this creativity stem from? Because for me personally, as a creative, it mostly stemmed from me like just being purely bored and being grounded. So my only outlet was like either playing drums or making YouTube videos. So like, is it like does it run in the family? Do you have a lot of creatives in your family?
Oh, yeah. We have lots of creatives in our family. My mom's been into art. She's always been good at painting and just making things on the fly. And my dad's kind of like, he's into like architecture, so he can, you know, build things if he needs to, and he also knows how to play guitar and everything. So he was in a band when he was younger.
Oh wow.
But yeah, and that it also stems, you know, to my dad's parents, my mom's parents. It like goes back. So yeah, definitely runs in the family. But Woodrow, he gets like, for his drawings, he's very inspired by you know, video games and like especially just kind of medieval kind of character art. He's always been drawn to that, and I'm always amazed at whatever he can do. But and creatures, like he plays Monster Hunter and all, like I can't remember the game, but like El
Diablo?
Eldritchian creatures, like really gross Cthulhu sort of things. I'll come downstairs and he's drawing some weird, creepy thing. I'm like, that's gonna haunt my dreams, but it looks fantastic.
Oh, weren't you saying something about working on like a horror / comedy or found film? You were doing a poll on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Exciting, dude.
Found footage horror ended up winning. Although there's gonna be a little bit of comedy in there for the people who did vote for horror comedy, because I don't know. I'm kind of happy it went to found footage because it's very easy to do. As far as, because I was just thinking, as far as setup and filmography and cinematography and everything, if I was doing a horror comedy, I would have to make sure it was lit well and all this, and it'd have to have a script and everything. But with found footage, pretty much it's going to be loose dialogue, and it's going to be very improv based, just because I want to keep it very organic and not feel super scripted, because you can tell when people are speaking a line. It just stands out. But for found footage, we're gonna do it on like using our cell phones.
Oh,
and
perfect.
And it's pretty much gonna be about like a group of friends who piss off the wrong person. and he ends up stalking them to our house and kills everybody.
Oh my god.
And it's like, I think it's gonna be called the Christmas Killings because it takes place during like a Christmas party sort of thing. And Christmas Eve is like a few days beforehand or something like that. But it's just a fun horror flick that I wanted to put together just to challenge myself.
Dude.
And we're gonna try and film it in a day.
A day?
Yeah.
What? That.
It's pretty
challenge.
simple. I mean, I don't want it to be super long. Longest it would be tops 15 minutes, but I don't even want it to be that long.
Really?
Yeah, just because it's a lot to edit.
I understand that. I definitely understand that.
Yeah, you understand.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think the story just from place, like we'd be in town for maybe a few minutes, then the rest happens at the house and moves on from there. And since it gets dark early, we can start pretty much as soon as it gets dark, so we don't even have to wait. But the shooting's probably going to take into the early hours of the morning.
Wow.
I can see it happening just because I have to do special effects makeup on some people for the deaths.
Dude, that's so cool though. Like you've delved into every aspect of film, which is awesome. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like the special effects like that would take a long time to kind of master.
I'm definitely not a master yet, but I'm getting better.
Like I noticed it with the Cove too. Like Mariah's face was all fucked up, and dude, like kudos.
Yeah, her
like, it
makeup
turned
took
out
like
good.
3 hours.
That
do.
took 3 hours. Oh my
Yeah.
god, she's really patient.
Yeah. Well, she had music, so she was good.
Just chilling out.
Yeah, I try to make everyone feel comfortable. I'm like, do you have everything you need? Do you want a video on while I'm doing this? And then it usually takes, for anything difficult, I try to take as long as 3 hours. But the looks that I do on myself, since it's my own face, I can do it in about 2, just because I know my limitations and I know where everything would be. And it's
Wow.
always difficult when I'm doing it on somebody else.
Right, I guess it's just fairly similar to like giving someone else a haircut or something besides cutting your own hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Gosh. Well, you're a jack of all trades, Wynslow, and I really appreciated you being on today's podcast.
Of course.
It was awesome talking with you.
Yeah,
Click
you too.
all the links down below. Support Wynslow. We're going to see
Thank
this
you.
movie coming into fruition. I'm very excited for you. I do appreciate your time.
Of course.
All right, Wynslow.
All right, bye, Christian.